Okay, so before we go and look at that image from Dorothea Lange, I want you to think about how photos are used in history. So, why do we use them and how do we use them is the big question here. This technique of observe, reflect, and ask questions is from the Library of Congress. So, it's what our national historians use to study photographs. So, I want you to keep that in mind as you develop your own photograph for this time period, knowing how historians will analyze it. So remember, it's not only about the subject, but it's about the photographer, you, it's about the location, probably your home, and the era that you're living in. So there is a lot more than just what you're choosing to put as the focal point in your image. Now, the first thing that they'll look at is how do we observe the photo? That's more of the type of photo that it is, what kind of caption, if you choose to include one, what you say about your photograph. We'll talk about Dorothea Lange and her feelings on captions. Who's in it, what objects, activities are there, and lastly, what kind of photography style? Is it more documentary style? Is this an amateur photographer? Or in your case, under Mr. D's instruction, it's going to be a pretty epic photo with a lot of style to it if I know him. So after that, think about how historians will reflect on it. They're going to ask that who, what, when, where, why piece about the photo. So keep those questions in mind. Hopefully, it'll help you decide what you want to include. And lastly, over here is to ask questions. Your photo should spark curiosity. Your photo should leave people asking more questions. So if they're asking more questions, you did a pretty good job with the photo. To give you an example, if you just take a picture of a roll of toilet paper and caption it 2020, I mean, it's funny. It's worthwhile for Twitter or Instagram. Maybe it's been done. But if you really want to capture something, maybe you take that toilet paper roll and it's still a focus of an image, but it includes you and your family sitting at home. It includes you on devices, or it includes you watching TV. It includes you coming up with new games and playing them in the background. Or maybe it shows you kind of hanging out alone in your room because we do that a lot in quarantine. So let the photo show the image of the time. Don't just pick one piece of it and try and force that onto your viewer. Find something that evokes a question.